नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग, नमस्ते, गुड इवनिंग। आज थोड़ा कार्यक्रम देर से शुरू हुआ, बारिश ने एक अपना रोल प्ले किया। बारिश अच्छी होती है पर कार्यक्रम के लिए कई बार देर कर देती है, तो मैं आप सबसे भी क्षमा चाहूँगा इसके लिए। My old friend Shri Uday Mahurkar ji, Indian journalist, political analyst and author of many good books and chief guest of today's function. He was also senior deputy editor, India Today. Professor Balram Pani, Dean of Colleges, University of Delhi. Professor Shri Prakash, Director, South Campus, University of Delhi. Dr. Vikas Gupta, Registrar of the University. Professor K. Ratnabali, Dean, Academic Affairs. Dr. Professor Hemchand Jain, Principal, Deen Dayal Upadhyay College, University of Delhi. We have with us Shri Sunil Kumar, Chairman, Governing Body of the college. Professor Payal Mago, Director, Campus of Open Learning. Professor Pankaj Agarwal, DSW. Professor Neera Agnimitra, Convener, Centenary Celebrations. We have some distinguished personalities, Shri Nand Kishore ji, Chancellor, Maharaja Agrawal University, Baddi. Professor B.P. Singh, Shri Anup Lathar ji, Dr. N.K. Kakkad, Professor S.K. Garg, former principal of the institute, and so many distinguished invited guests, faculty members, and my dear students. Good evening again. Good evening, good evening. Today, we are here to have discussion on a book written on our Honorable Prime Minister, Modi at 20, Dreams Meet Delivery. See the title, Dreams Meet Delivery. There are many people who take dreams, but when it comes to implementation, they are very poor. And particularly in the context of India, if we have to say, Indians are good preachers, Indians are the persons who take dreams, but very poor implementers. But here, what we see, when we say dream meets delivery, we have 20 years of outstanding governance, decisive leadership, and compassionate policies for the people of India. And this book discusses such policies which are for the people of India. As we all know, when we say the 13 years as the Chief Minister of Gujarat, today we have with us Mahurkar ji, who is from Gujarat. Nowadays he lives in Delhi. Now many Gujaratis are in Delhi. He is one of them. 13 years as Chief Minister of Gujarat, 2001 to 2014. After that, 7 years as Prime Minister of India. For this book, now 8 years have passed. So 20 years span is too long a span for analysis, understanding, and do the critical review about the policies, structures, administrative reforms, and so many other things. It's not a small era of 20 years, and we are lucky to have such a leader, such a performer like our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, who commits less and deliver more. Who commits less and deliver more, that's the best part of his administration, and which is also indicated in many chapters of the book. And what is the rule of the governance? ध्येय वाक्य सरकार का क्या है? There is a statement of Stephen Grellet, who was a French American, from born 1772 and then died in 1855. बड़ी पुरानी बात हो गई. That is the ध्येय वाक्य for the governance, and those lines are, I shall pass through this word but once. I shall pass through this word but once. Any good thing that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any human being, let me do it now, and not defer it, for I may not pass this way again. These are the lines which are behind the formation of many policies of the Government of India. If you visit Prime Minister's office or many other offices, you will find these lines which are written there of Stephen Grellet. There is no doubt he is very progressive, decisive, result-oriented, caring and a very compassionate leader. कई बार ऐसा लगता है कि कोई देवी की कृपा है, क्योंकि किसी ने बहुत अच्छा कहा है कि खुद मझधार में होकर भी जो औरों का साहिल होता है, खुद मझधार में होकर भी जो औरों का साहिल होता है, परमात्मा जिम्मेदारियां उसी को देता है जो निभाने के काबिल होता है। I am also one of the fortunate person who has some experience of working directly or indirectly with our Honorable Prime Minister, not as Prime Minister but as Chief Minister of Government of Gujarat. When I was the Vice Chancellor of Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda, one day I received a call from Chief Minister office. तो उन्होंने कहा कि सीएम साहब आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं। थोड़ी देर बाद सीएम साहब लाइन पे आए तो उन्होंने कहा कि मैं आपको गुजरात की हमारी एक पीएसयू है, गुजरात स्टेट पेट्रोनेट्स लिमिटेड, लिस्टेड कंपनी है, मैं उसमें आपको डायरेक्टर नॉमिनेट कर रहा हूं। ये तो कोई खास बात नहीं है, बहुत लोग डायरेक्टर नॉमिनेट होते होंगे। उसके बाद जो उन्होंने कहा कि मैं आपको नॉमिनेट कर रहा हूं, वहां मेरे गुजरात के हितों की रक्षा करना, यानी अपने हर एक्शन में, अपनी डीड में ही सेज मेरे गुजरात के हितों की रक्षा करना। गुजरात वॉज हिज लाइफ and is also, Gujarat was his life and welfare of the people was his motto as Chief Minister of Gujarat. कि हर वाक्य में ये कहना कि आपको एक काम दिया है तो मेरे गुजरात के हितों की रक्षा करना। ये लाइन बहुत कुछ पीछे से भी बोलती है, सिर्फ हमें समझने का मन होना चाहिए। He is a visionary leader, no doubt about it. He is a very good implementer, no debate on this. One day, he said, we should start a Center for International Studies at MS University of Baroda. Then he said, we political people take many decisions based on common sense, based on experience. But we should take decisions based on the research. The research should be based on primary data. There should be a center. He said, if I ask you, who are the 3 countries of the world who are friends countries for India? आप में से सब लोग बता देंगे 3 कौन से दोस्त हैं। कोई 1 बताएगा, कोई 2 बताएगा, सब कॉमन सेंस से ही तो बताएंगे। We don't have any historic data. Although data is available, we don't have any study on the data. So he said we should have a center at MS University of Baroda, Center for International Studies. That center should guide Government of Gujarat to take international decisions and strategic decisions. Now we have a center there. Center is working, collecting primary data on various international issues. So one very important thing is your decisions should not be based only on common sense, but also on data. That's why, he talks about data so many times, and this is referred in the book also many times. एक लास्ट घटना और कहूँगा, उसके बाद में, क्योंकि उदय मोहरकर साहब बहुत कुछ कहने वाले हैं, वो बहुत ज़्यादा उनको है, कि एक बार मुझे इतवार को मैंने टाइम मांगा हुआ था, तो संडे का टाइम आया मिलने के लिए। तो मुझे लगा कि इतवार का दिन है, आज तो चलो आराम से बात हो जाएगी। संडे को घर पे अपॉइंटमेंट मिला, उनका घर और ऑफिस एक ही सी बात है। जब मैं गया तो मुझे मालूम पड़ा मेरा 75th नंबर है, 75th नंबर है, लेकिन बिकॉज हिज टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज वेरी गुड, आई वॉज गिवन 5 बजे का टाइम दिया था, तो मेरा 5:15 तक नंबर आ गया। बस 75th है, तो कब से मिल रहे होंगे कि 75th मेरा। जब मैं अंदर गया तो बड़ा ही वॉज फुल ऑफ एनर्जी, फुल ऑफ लाइफ, फर्स्ट क्लास एकदम। तो मैंने कहा, आप कभी झींकते नहीं क्या, परेशान नहीं होते क्या इतने लोगों से? हमें तो 10-15 लोगों से मिलना पड़ जाए तो परेशान हो जाते हैं सारे मामले पे। He did not say anything. He kept smiling. that patience, it is not easy to meet so many people and then वो जो आ रहा है उसके पास तो अपना ही है सब कुछ, वो सबसे बेस्ट कहेगा उस समय, उसकी बात को भी ध्यान से सुनना है आपने, रिस्पॉन्ड करना है कि नहीं करना है वो भी सोचना है. So that patience which a political leader should have, he has that patience, and he's a very compassionate leader. Very, very compassionate leader. Now this book also refers as the policies of the government, but in the next 25 years, अभी भारत बना रहा है हम लोग, we are celebrating आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव. But after next 25 years, India will do very well because foundations are good, direction is good, and we all are working very hard. Every Indian is working very hard, and within 25 years or 20 years, India will become a developed nation, prosperous nation, powerful nation. Because seriously, we want to eradicate poverty from India. We want to create jobs for everyone. We want to create a very happy life for everyone. And here, the key is the growth for the country. If we can maintain, I should not say maintain, if we can have 10% growth, economic growth rate for next 20 years, we will be able to achieve all those things. So here, key and crux is 10% economic growth rate for India. But to understand this, it is not easy to achieve. Not easy, 10% growth rate for 20 years. But eradication of poverty is also not easy. Providing jobs for everyone is also not easy. These are serious administrative and business issues. And so first is every proposal which is submitted to the government should be assessed on first filter is whether it compromises growth or it enhances growth. If it compromises growth, अपने को 25 साल के लिए छोड़ देना चाहिए उसको, क्योंकि सारा काम हम सब नहीं थोड़ी करना है, आने वाले भी करेंगे, बड़ी बड़ी बात भी करेंगे, सब होगा, लेकिन 25 साल अभी देश को कोई प्रपोजल नहीं लेना चाहिए जो ग्रोथ को कंप्रोमाइज करता हो. हर प्रपोजल वही लेना चाहिए जो ग्रोथ को आगे बढ़ाता हो. क्योंकि एक डेटा शेयर करने से अपनी बात रखूंगा कि we were very unfortunate during British rules. Our growth rate from 1900 to 1950, for 50 years, economic growth rate of India was 0%. No growth in India at all. From 1950 to 80, 3.5% growth rate. From 1980 to 2002, 5 to 7% growth rate. And 2003 to 8 to 9%, and 9 to 24, 7.2% growth rate. And if we take average of this, then from 1951 to 2021 is 5.81. It means now we expect double or at least 40% more growth rate. Why I am so confident that India will do it? I just would like to share some statistics here. These statistics are given in the book. We want 10% growth rate. Narendra Modi became Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat in 2001. From 2001 to 2014, annual growth rate of Gujarat was 9.8%. 9.8% for 13, 14 years. And their key is what? Agriculture growth rate was 9.2% in Gujarat, unheard in Indian history. भारत में कभी ऐसा सुना नहीं. 9.2% growth rate in agriculture sector. That's why they could achieve 9.8% growth rate, annual growth rate. So key is the agriculture sector. 13 साल में यदि गुजरात में 9.8 कर सकते हैं, तो अगले 20 साल भारत को क्यों नहीं 10%? 0.2% ही तो एक्स्ट्रा है. We want only 10%. That's why when he has done it, कोई numbers की बात है ये, कोई hypothetical बात नहीं है. When things can be implemented in Gujarat, it is possible to implement here also. I do understand that on a large scale, it may not be that easy every time, but still, with all challenges, with all, we have to focus, and that's why I'm very confident that in next 20 years are going to be very prosperous year for our country. When PM says that we have to enhance our size of economy from $3 trillion to $6 trillion economy, 3 से 6 ट्रिलियन डॉलर जाना चाहते हैं. वर्ल्ड की इस समय जो टोटल इकोनॉमी है वो करीब आप ऐसा मान लीजिए 100 ट्रिलियन डॉलर के आसपास है. अमेरिका की 22 ट्रिलियन डॉलर की है, हमारी जो है 3 ट्रिलियन डॉलर की है, प्रिसाइजली वैसे 2.8 के आसपास है. 6 ट्रिलियन डॉलर की इकोनॉमी के लिए 10% ग्रोथ रेट लगाते हैं तो 4-5 साल में अचीवेबल है. इसके लिए क्या है, एवरीथिंग शुड बी एग्जीक्यूटेड ऑन ए लार्ज स्केल, बिग स्केल, नॉट बिकॉज बिग इज ब्यूटिफुल बट बिकॉज बिग इज नेसेसरी फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ 40 करोड़ पीपल. हमारा साइज बहुत बड़ा है. यूएस की पॉलिसी हमारे यहाँ लग नहीं सकती, वो 36 करोड़ है. हम तो जब आज़ाद हुए तब 36 करोड़ थे बांग्लादेश और पाकिस्तान को मिला के, और आज हम 136 करोड़ 140 करोड़ हैं. तो हमारे को तो अपने सिस्टम प्रोसेसेस तो चाहिए ही चाहिए. एंड तो बहुत सारी, तो मैडम ने अभी मैं उस पर टाइम नहीं लगा रहा, बहुत सारी पॉलिसीज़ की बात की. यूपीआई इज़ ए सक्सेस, प्रधानमंत्री जनधन योजना इज़ ए सक्सेस. देयर आर सो मेनी सक्सेस स्टोरीज, बट फोकस ऑन एग्रीकल्चर. He wanted to do so many things, he could not do it. But he will still do something very good in agriculture sector, because focusing on agriculture can be good economics as well as good politics. We cannot eradicate poverty from India without focusing on agriculture. And that is the motto of Government of India right now. And we all have to work very hard because now borders are safe. Terrorism is also under control. Many good things are happening. We are also implementing the national education policy, which is also necessary for achieving this 10% growth rate, because universities should work very hard on innovation, on entrepreneurship, on originality, good products from the Indian university system, because we have to retrain ourselves in that direction. Otherwise, our focus is only on teaching, जैसी भी है, and publication of good research paper. Beyond publication of research paper, we do not focus on that. But now time has come that we should focus beyond publication of a research paper, then first is the product, prototype, then product, then sustainable product, then commercially sustainable product. These are some of the targets which, if we do not take, then we can't say anything about it, that those who will follow us will not forgive us for our tardiness, negligence and complacency attitude. तो मुश्किल है, लेकिन but we have to do it, we have to change our attitude. Someone has rightly said कि सफ़र में मुश्किलें आए तो हिम्मत और बढ़ती है. अगर कोई रास्ता रोके तो ज़रूरत और बढ़ती है. अगर बिकने पे आ जाओ तो घट जाते हैं दाम अक्सर. न बिकने का इरादा हो तो कीमत और बढ़ती है. So we need leaders, we need teachers जो बिकने का, न बिकने का इरादा हो. That should be in your genes. And please work for 10% growth rate. That is our key. And this book will help us. Every Indian should read that book. You will learn many good things about the policies of the Government of India, about the outcomes of the Government of India, that will inspire, ignite some of us to take right decisions and work hard for the welfare of India. So next 25 years are our years. We have to really work very hard. And this book will ignite, I'm very sure, will ignite many of us. Please read that book. That is the purpose of organizing such functions. Thank you very much.